It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. Our conversation with Eric Neal, the CEO of the YMCA of Indiana County, presented by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Paging Eric Neal, where are you? Oh, there you are. You haven't been at the business for a while, have you?
No. I've been in my home office most of the time.
Yeah. Well, the YMCA, like so many other facilities, is closed right now because of the COVID-19 crisis. I know that not only in terms of events that are canceled, but in terms of people and their everyday health, that's a big loss, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done a number of things to try to provide programs virtually, online, and some of our vendors have been kind enough to open up their whole online libraries to our members, and we've pushed all that information out there. But that's just not something that's going to work for everybody. So we know it's been a huge loss for all of us.
Yeah, when you think about all of those services at the YMCA, and for people who don't know, maybe you can give us a thumbnail of the various, just in terms of facilities that people can use as members of the YMCA.
So we have all sorts of health and wellness programming, as you know, and we see a lot of people out and about in the community, and I see people with the Y just about every day still out there using the track or using some of the outdoor fitness stations. We have 3 fitness stations around the track. Mm-hmm. I see people walking the whole perimeter of the parking lot, which is bigger than just the track, obviously. Mm-hmm. I see people riding bikes in the parking lot also. So the Y is still being used, just in a different kind of a way. But, all the health and wellness programming, the sauna, the steam room, the swimming pool, the exercise classes in the water, all of the youth programs that we do, that everything from Child Watch, which some people utilize that just as kind of like a babysitting service while they're working out. Yeah. But the reality is that those staff members really treat it much more like a program. They work with the kids and do some youth development activities. They read to them. They work with them on schoolwork if it's on the weekend. And they're just an amazing group of people. It's never crossed their mind that it's a babysitting service. It's really a youth development program for them. To the tumbling room with movement classes, the social spaces that we have, and the rec center out front, and in the lobby, and then all the outdoor spaces, the miracle field, the softball fields, the volleyball courts. It's just amazing that we just have to sit here and just wait.
Yeah, everybody, and it should make us all appreciate everything that is offered at the Y. Going to get right down to it. And when it does reopen and we're able to get back and use those services, we're hoping that it'll be a tremendous boom. One of the things that people are wondering about, of course, is the Mack Park pool. What sort of information do you have on it?
Todd, we're wondering too right now.
Yeah.
You see what the governor says, and you listen to what the most current version of the phased-in opening looks like, and then you listen to governors from different states who said, the governor from New York said, they're not going to open any of their pools this summer. We talk about those sorts of things multiple times a week. I tell you, we're becoming experts in Zoom meetings and Google Hangouts. And
the whole world is.
Things that we never really had to utilize but much in the past. But, I think a lot of these sorts of things are really going to determine based on how the public perceives where we are as a community in regards to getting back together and being close to one another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the YMCA is a mission as well, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we have three things that we focus on, youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Yeah. So being together and being part of a community, that's such an important part of everything we do.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, so we're hoping to know here in the next couple of weeks where we at least fit into the mix in regards to beginning to look at reopening in some fashion. We're hopeful that our community is one of those ones that gets to be allowed to do it early. But I guess that all depends on if you start reopening. What happens with the spread of the COVID-19, and do we get to keep moving in that direction or not?
Yeah. One of the unfortunate aspects of all of these closures for every entity, including yours, is it has a real effect on your bottom line and the financial health of every organization. has to be called into question, and whether or not you can continue to operate with whatever resources you have available. How's the YMCA standing up?
I tell you, I really feel badly for a lot of these small organizations that, don't rely on, say, a membership base, where they're really dependent upon their sales and things like that. I can't even imagine how it's affected them, and I'm hopeful that they come out of this okay and they're able to continue and bring their people back. We have been, I can't tell you how blessed we are, Todd. Our members, the vast majority of them have allowed us to continue to bill their account, to pay their membership dues, because they're supporting what we're doing right now. I mean, all of my full-time staff are still employed, and they're all still working. They're all working from home. They're developing all of the online content. They're working on programs. They're still doing interviews and things like that for programs like summer camp. So they're still all working. And I have many of my part-time staff who are also working on the development of that online content, doing program development and other things. And Todd, I can't tell you, I've always said from a fundraising perspective that we are blessed to live in Indiana and Indiana County because of the generosity of the people here. 80% of our members have said, it's okay, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop billing my membership, because we understand the good things that you do in our community, and we want to support you.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
I find myself without words many times. I mean, the generosity is amazing. And, I think that it speaks to the good things that we're doing in our community every day. And we're blessed to be here in Indiana, and we're blessed to have the people who are our members be our members.
All right. So let's think about moving forward. Of course, there will be long-term effects from COVID-19, but at the same time, you have to look forward with your chin up and find new programs and new initiatives from the YMCA. Are there things on the planning docket that you've had to delay, or that you have maybe had more time to work on now?
Yeah, we've been looking at everything. Most of the programs that we do, even if there is some sort of social distancing that you have to do, many of the things that we do, you can find a way to do that. It'll change the makeup of some of those programs. One of the more difficult ones is, and we were just talking about this the other day, is it's a little harder to do swimming lessons from a socially distanced place.
Yeah.
Especially with the little guys. But most of the other things that we could do, there's at least a reasonable way to look at that and say, okay, our group exercise classes, for example, we'll just take those out of the group exercise studio and either do them outside or in the gym.
Yeah.
There are ways to spread people out and to be able to do the things you do. Or you take the class size that you normally had and you cut it in half, and we'll offer more classes. We'll just offer twice as many. We know that people depend on us and they rely on us for their health and wellness and their social interaction and all sorts of things, and their kids for their youth development and their activities. And we're going to find a way to be able to deliver on that promise in some fashion. It might look a little different. It's going to look a little different than it does today, but we're going to be sure that we're still able to deliver those programs. We've really been talking about what other programs might we need to do, and we've got a whole list of things that we're working through as a staff to figure out how do they fit into the mix, and what are the things that our community is going to really need for us to do as we start coming out of this. So we're really interested in hearing from the community to say, what can we do to help you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to approach it, a great attitude as well. Tell me about Miracle League. Would they have started their season by now, or would it just be pretty soon?
No, they would be pretty soon. It would be usually the first or second Saturday in May. And even though there's a possibility we'll be able to, start moving back together, there's a good chance that we're not going to do that. That particular group of people, they're at higher risk than most. And, again, that comes down to our social responsibility. Just because we're allowed to doesn't mean we should. So we're trying to look out for our participants. So there's a good chance we're not going to run our spring season of Miracle League. We've already talked about what will we do in the fall. Do we maybe start that season earlier and run it a little longer so that those participants are able to get some more ball playing in, or maybe we'll do something in the summertime as a camp or an evening or a weekend program for them that we hadn't done in the past.
Yeah. Eric Neal from the YMCA with us for just a couple of more moments. So I'm interested in the building itself, the facility itself, and the way to maintain it when nobody's in it. Obviously, there has to be something going on with the pool, one would think, right?
Yeah, it's still full, and water's filtered. It probably is looking as good as it has in a decade. Yeah, we have some facility staff and some of our leadership team members. We're stopping in there every day and just checking on things. We did a very thorough deep cleaning shortly after we were closed. We had about a week where my team and I were still in the building before we had to stop doing that. So we had done all of those sorts of things. We did a couple maintenance things that are difficult to do when people are coming and going, so we did a few of those things. And then we started a project. So we're in the middle of a project, and we were told to stop when the governor said life essential only. So we actually have a project that's sitting over there all torn apart that we're going to need some time to put back together before we open back up.
At least it wasn't
we were redoing
roof.
our steam room, so we'll have to put that all back together before we can open it back up. So we'll hopefully get a few days to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, terrific. For folks who obviously can't use the YMCA now, as you mentioned, there's a lot of online offerings that they can take advantage of. What's the website?
It's the YMCA's Facebook page.
Okay, there you go. YMCA's Facebook page. You'll get all the information.
Yeah, we have exercise programs on there. We're popping different skill development things for the kids. We're going to be doing some storybook time, and we've been making telephone calls, started reaching out to our members personally. And that's a lot of members, Todd.
Yeah, it is.
To just call and say, hey, how you doing? We just want to touch base with folks.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Hey, Eric, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been uplifting.
Thank you, Todd. I'm glad to be here.
Have a wonderful day today.
Thank you. You too.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM, 101.1 FM.